Day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Most Filipino adults are still worried about contracting COVID-19. That's despite the majority of them admitting that vaccines have been rolled out in their localities. This was revealed during the latest Pulse Asia research survey conducted last month. The study showed that 96% of Filipinos fear catching COVID-19, which is higher compared to the figure recorded last February. The same study also found that more people are inclined to get vaccinated in June as compared to 5 months ago, while most of those who are reluctant to get the shots are concerned about the safety of vaccines. In other news, let's get some updates on the traffic situation along EDSA, with authorities charging for entry at the Skyway Stage 3. Gerard de la Peña now reports to us live along Araneta Avenue to give us more details. Gerard, good afternoon. How is the traffic situation there so far?
Well, Charles, vehicular volume along EDSA rose as the operator of Skyway Stage 3 starts collecting toll today. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority said that the start of toll collection at the Skyway Stage 3 contributed to vehicular volume along EDSA, but not significantly or not as bad as initially thought. Judging from the traffic flow at the southbound lane of EDSA around Kamaning Flyover and Cubao this morning, an MMDA official said vehicular volume and traffic flow aren't comparable yet to pre-pandemic levels. There was also build-up noted at the northbound lane of EDSA around Ayala and Guadalupe, but this might be just the normal Monday rush hour traffic. However, the agency has yet to gather data on actual vehicular volume along EDSA, as doing so today may yield to inaccurate results. San Miguel Infrastructure, which operates the Skyway Stage 3, started collecting toll that may be as much as 264 pesos from Buendia up to NLEX after the Toll Regulatory Board allowed it to do so. Motorists have varying views on the move, with others saying San Miguel Corporation has been letting the public use the infrastructure for free in the past 7 months, and that it is just right for them to start charging to regain their investments. On the other hand, other motorists said that toll can be burdensome considering that the country is still in the middle of a pandemic. The MMDA has likewise cleared the so-called Mabuhay lanes, which are alternate routes from Quezon City down to Makati. But from what we have seen a while ago, that while there aren't much vehicles passing through the designated alternate route, there are some obstructions along the streets which could affect traffic flow should motorists decide to flock to the road to avoid EDSA traffic. Charles, as of now, traffic is manageable and considerably moderate in many parts of the metro. But the MMDA said that it is yet to be seen in the coming days if the start of the collection of toll along at the Skyway Stage 3 will have a significant impact on vehicular flow along EDSA in many parts of the metro. Charles.
Thanks for that, Gerard. That was Gerard de la Peña reporting live from Araneta Avenue in Quezon City. The family of the military nurse who lost her life in the SLU crash finds it very difficult to come to terms with their loss. This especially as they believe that the fatal incident could have been avoided. Gemma Vansenia with the story.
This is their destiny. Ayan, ang Panginoon lang nakakaalam. Pero ang tanong ko, ganito sa Panginoon. Oo, destiny nga po nila. Pero bakit sa ganitong paraan nangyari? Marami pa sanang paraan kung anong masakit na masakit. Sana ako nang kinuha.
It has been a week since First Lieutenant Sheena Alexandria Tato died in the C-130 plane crash in Paticol, Sulu. Still, the grieving father, retired Colonel Wilfredo Tato, doesn't have the courage to look at his daughter's remains because of its burnt condition. He doesn't want to blame anyone, but the retired soldier who was also assigned in Sulu before said the accident could have been avoided if only the government developed the Sulu airport, which has been used by the military for a very long time.
Wala ko sinisisi sa aeroplano, no, sa piloto na season, hindi ko sinisisi. No, kasi mahuhusay mga yon. Ang nangyari lang dahil ang runway maiksi. Tapos nag-maneuver para mag-take off, sumabit doon sa nyug. Kung maaari sana, tanggalin yung mga obstruction dyan sa paligid na nakakasagabal sa paglipad ng eroplano. Sana po maksyonan.
Tato admits that it was him who encouraged Sheena to be a military nurse, since they do not have enough money to send her to medical school to pursue her dream of becoming a doctor. but he witnessed how devoted his daughter was when she started working in the military. Sheena's closest cousin, CK Halalon, recalled how her Ate Rhea became her role model.
Si ate kasi is very strict when it comes to profession, to your career, and to your school. So nung kasi ako, nung college ako, lagi niya ako pinapagalitan kasi I would run to her, telling her, ate, this is very hard for me. I don't know if I can make it to third year, ganon. Tapos sabi niya, you have to do it. Tibay ng loob, ganon.
So yun yung na-instill niya.
Kasi si ate kasi yung role model ko ever since I turned high school. Yung closeness kasi namin is irrevocable, something like that. So, ganon na nga. Masakit, pero andyan na wala na magagawa.
Meanwhile, 5 survivors of the said plane crash were brought to Southern Philippines Medical Center's burn unit for skin grafting operations. For News 5, Jem Avancenia, we are One News.
Many countries are easing COVID-19 restrictions, but with the emergence of the Delta variant, this may have to be reconsidered. More details on this Bloomberg report.
The COVID-19 pandemic took a toll on the world's health and economy. At the pandemic's onset, governments worldwide imposed restrictions on business and travel to contain the spread of the virus.
We will see more cases and things will get worse than they are right now. It is 10 times more lethal than the seasonal flu. The flu has a mortality of 0.1%. This has a mortality of 10 times that.
The measures disrupted the world's economy and caused massive job losses in many service industries. Governments rushed to provide stimulus as central banks eased monetary policy.
We are deploying these lending powers to an unprecedented extent, enabled in large part by the financial backing from the Congress and the Treasury.
By the end of last year, pharmaceutical companies and governments had come together to develop vaccines faster than anyone expected. But rates of vaccination around the world are still uneven. According to the University of Oxford, 25% of the world population overall has received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. But that includes a range of from over 50% in North America to just over 1% in Africa.
We provide clear and compelling case for accelerating vaccinations everywhere.
The health crisis is now easing in much of the world, and many countries are rolling back their restrictions. Some countries, including the United States, have scrapped mask mandates for those who are vaccinated.
We'll move away from legal restrictions and allow people to make their own informed decisions about how to manage the virus.
The latest setback in the global recovery is the Delta variant, which stoked a dramatic wave of COVID cases in India. Now, the variant accounts for over half of the new cases in the United States.
In today's briefing, we discussed how the Delta variant is already responsible for half of all cases in many parts of this country.
The highly contagious variant sent Sydney back into lockdown and is threatening the Tokyo Olympics. Japan plans to declare a state of emergency for Tokyo as the Delta variant spreads in the eastern part of the country.
What we want to do is give us our best chance of making sure this is the only lockdown we have until the vast majority of our citizens are vaccinated.
Former Solicitor General Florin Hilbay slams retired Justice Antonio Carpio once again and the supposed motives behind his support for the arbitration case against China in the West Philippine Sea. In his recent statement, Hilbay accused Carpio of seeking to insert himself and influence decisions on the West Philippine Sea, partly to seek a deal with China all along for a certain cooperation agreement. Recall that in a column on The Inquirer, Carpio said former President Noynoy Aquino's advisors were bitterly divided over taking China to court. Hilbay said these accusations are part of a strange campaign to malign members of Aquino's legal team. The former Solicitor General also claims that Carpio's move suggests that he is comfortably in bed with people inside the Duterte administration in efforts to broker a deal with China. Hilbay described Carpio's supposed loose relationship with fats as tantamount to catching the fish by its mouth. Hilbay also suggested that Carpio, who is currently heading the opposition coalition, may actually be a saboteur. Hilbay ended his statement by calling on the opposition to scrutinize the credibility and the motives of those who seek to unify them. And he believes those who run for public office, who supports the MOU over oil and gas between the Duterte administration and China, should be considered a possible Manchurian candidate. On now to the world of football, where Italy has finally claimed its first European championship for the first time in more than 50 years. Over 60,000 fans at the Wembley Stadium witnessed the defeat of the Three Lions at the hands of the Azzurri. Luke Shaw had given England a dream start with a superb goal after just 2 minutes, but Italy gradually took command and leveled after 67 minutes. The championship all came down to a game of penalties, and goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma saved twice for Italy to allow them to win the match at 3-2. Because of this, large celebrations were seen being held in various parts of the country as they await the return of their beloved team. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 1 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.